Let's make a sex symbol. I'm just gonna put this there.
People think makes a sexy man has changed a lot over the past 100 years.
We are going to be recreating photos of the most revolutionary male sex symbols throughout history.
But there are only 4 of us, so we're gonna get a little help from some of our friends.
Sex symbols! You're looking at one. No, well, you will be, because that's what we're doing today. I mean, I guess my great-grandmother might have thought that he was steamy, but she died. I'll be recreating Rudolph Valentino. Who's that, you ask? Well, so did I. He is a film star in the 1920s, and he is like the original Latin lover. He played an Arab lead character because, as an Italian-American, he was like the exotic one. The most popular male sex icon was getting all this criticism for being effeminate. He was just beautiful all around. I feel like this is a theme we're gonna see later. It's like people are scared of what's too sexy. I'm not supposed to be talking, am I?
No, you're a silent film star.
He didn't even open his mouth and there was 100,000 people at his funeral. Would that happen today if Justin Bieber died? He might get 100,000 likes on a R.I.P. Bieber photo. That's a lot to live up to.
So he was so adored that Hitler wanted him as a pet, which is, I guess, I would take as a compliment. I'm delighted to play the King of Hollywood, especially because it's this old school, funny, sort of masculine. He's always like smiling and kind of winking. Even in Gone with the Wind, they're like, "What do you think, Rhett?" And he's like, "I don't know if we can defeat the North. We don't have enough cannons." He's almost like a proto-Clooney in that he was a silver fox at a very young age. He's just an old man who has giant ears and a weird cat-like grin. So if I'm gonna be a sexy man, I wanna be the weirdest looking sexy man I can possibly be. Hello, my daughter died on a pony. All of these actors from back in the day, they were all soldiers. They were laying their lives on the line. We don't have enough cannons. Nowadays, no one comes to mind. I don't think Channing Tatum's out there. Yeah, I look like a weirdo by today's standards, but that's okay. I feel the sexiest I've ever felt.
The real trick is, though, not wearing anything under the trench coat. That makes it easier to have sex with 1,000 women. I am going to be Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey's very serious and very stoic. If you look back at the acting in all those old films, it's very over the top, but he was very grounded. He was just that good of an actor to know that, yeah, you just have to do very little. All these quotes talk about how brilliant of an actor he was, how he started the Rat Pack, and how he did all these cool things. And then you find out that he also is super insecure. Is like, I don't know, am I really a sex icon? I think that's super relatable. I think I'm incredible, but it doesn't mean that I think every beautiful woman will be swooned by me. I mean, I feel sexier dressed as Humphrey Bogart than I did before. Here's looking at you, kid. The trench coat and the hat are definitely like super sexy. Cigarette, don't smoke, it's not good, but it looks so hot. Well, there's the proof of him being a sex icon right there. A regular bogey fest. I'll just make all the money and party with my rat friends.
There's very few people my mom has said are attractive. My mom has always been like, Elvis Presley, so beautiful, so talented. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Elvis music. He's one of those artists that even if you're young, someone in your family listens to Elvis. I mean, he's an amazing musician. What really pushed that forward was just someone being able to express who they were in a very honest, sexual way. It's crazy how revolutionary just being open about your dick can be. Before Elvis, you had to be, macho and chivalrous. Elvis kind of just threw it out the window. He just thrusted and let's just skip all the dressing and get right to the salad. So, is that a gross analogy I just made? Elvis was opening a lot of different doors culturally that led into many of the movements that happened in the 60s. So I gotta really swing my dick forward.
Basically.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you for my dick swing. Yeah.
Especially today when we see so many different artists being able to showcase their bodies in ways that are very freeing. I think we owe a lot of that to Elvis. I think I put the P in Elvis. Get it? Macy,
got it? Elvis.
Oh, she got it, yay. Elvis, yay. Wait, I mean, yeah. Am I doing Elvis or Cher? I can't quite tell.
It's a little bit of both.
Thank you very much.
So I'm gonna be recreating Sean Connery. That was terrible. I apologize to everyone watching right now. The best Bond. I think a certain era of men like subscribe to Sean Connery as their symbol for what a man should look like. Just masculinity defined. He's the guy that gets all the girls, he drives the nice cars, impeccable taste in clothing, and he gets to like shoot guns and save the day. If you look like an athlete, people kind of assume that you don't have this sense of class. So instead of him just being a kind of brutish, tough guy, they gave him this air of sophistication and intelligence. I feel sexy right now. Hello, money bunny. Shaken, not stirred. Sexiest man of the century. Share your secrets, please. Of the century? I don't even know how you compete with that. I'm done. What else is there? You're the man now, dog.
Of all the photos we're doing today, this is the most Try Guys photo, so I am honored. I was gonna say step into his clothes, but I'm not. I'm stepping out of my clothes. I am recreating the infamous naked Burt Reynolds photo. When you think Burt Reynolds, you think the stash. You think the body hair. He's dad sexy. This was the first time that a man had ever been naked in a major magazine. After this photo was released, Reynolds turned into a star overnight. Women were lined up outside of his apartment. I've taken so many naked photos, and none of them have catapulted me. In a way, it kind of validated female sexuality, because guess what? Women like looking at naked men too. And so Burt Reynolds was like, hey ladies, check me out. So today, I'm gonna let all you check me out.
You just had tons and tons of sex.
I know what that's like, let's do it. He just looks like he's having a blast. He's just naked, he's laughing, he's on a bearskin rug, it's hilarious.
Gene, is there a reason you're not wearing a shirt?
You know, friends.
Okay.
Is everyone just like slowly taking their clothes off?
This did just become like the weirdest historical porn ever, right? There's only one person who's supposed to have their clothes off, and I feel like you guys are kind of stealing my thunder. Ooh, that was
The mustache is doing something different.
You think the mustache is good? Oh, sorry. There are a lot of hairy dudes out there. And so I'm appreciative that there was at least one of these sex symbols who like made it really awesome and okay for you to embrace your natural body hair.
I understand why he was drunk for this. This angle, why?
Don't worry, Zach. Trust us.
All right.
Yep.
Great.
The idea of playing 27 instruments, like I can barely speak English. Today, I get the honor of recreating an image of Prince. Growing up, Prince was always someone I was intimidated by because maybe I saw a lot of myself in Prince. I think he crossed every barrier that there is musically. I think it takes a very creative, unique mind that is one of a kind, one in a million, to be able to cross so many different music worlds. For me, androgyny is something that has always been something I have been afraid of. I've had to prove the fact that I was a man, I guess, instead of embracing all the feminine qualities of myself. Prince accepted himself and loved himself. Let's fucking do this.
I don't think there's been anyone who's like exuded as much sexiness as he has. Like effortlessly.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Using muscles I never knew I had. It's kind of this world that we live in now. And it's such a beautiful world to be able to wear fucking lipstick or paint your nails and feel accepted. And I love it.
Titanic Leo too, like, wow. That guy, it's like you saw him and you're like, wow. This guy looks like he's 15, but sexy. I love Leo. Are you gonna mention that he was on Growing Pains? Because that's where I first remember seeing him. First off, the name Leonardo DiCaprio. Come on. Crazy confused because they're still speaking in Shakespeare. Like, can you imagine just being a barista and your name's Leonardo DiCaprio? And in Gatsby, they like redid it. That gif, oh my gosh. On Quaaludes and stuff. The Reverend. Was that what it's called? I think, was Leo in the back or the front? Why do I imagine him in the front, like doing it, and Rose was holding him? I think the closest thing to Leo in recent memory is Justin Bieber or One Direction. But I think even Leo then, he just owned the 90s. Girls would have like binders and it would just be like cutouts of him in like magazines. Girls' bedrooms would just be laced with Leo. I'm excited about Leo bangs. Hopefully he sees this and hopefully we kick it on a yacht together.
Maybe turn and look at me. 1, 2, 3.
Wow, that felt cool. That definitely felt cool.
He's so hot, he cares a lot about the environment, and he's a great actor. Okay, what's the weird thing? Is he a vampire? Have we ever thought about that?
Do I get my Oscar now, or I have to wait 20 years?
He won an Oscar for it. Revenant. Not the Reverend.
He kind of makes shitty tattoos look good, which is how you know you're really hot. David Beckham has created a life that as a kid, you would write down in crayons. He was kind of like a sex symbol for sports before that became a thing. My family is really into soccer, and even still, my little brothers will reference him and some of the moves he did. He was a man babe, and actually really fucking good at what he did. That idea that a man could be more into style and fashion, especially a straight man, was kind of a new concept, especially in the early 2000s. He kind of did the rebel thing, but then that evolved into a dad and a husband, which he's doing well. I think that was something really new that we got to kind of see his path be carried on. Him defining this idea of being metrosexual set a bar for like what men have to be now. He shows a certain confidence in his sexuality. Now I feel like that's a lot more commonplace.
It's interesting because the one thing that links what people have seen as sexy in men is just confidence. Body types change, hairstyles change, but there's a certain
natural confidence, which is always hot.